Hello, interweb. Granny here. This is the first 10-minute monologue of Alan's latest video where he's starting the Idaho 4 case. The first 10 minutes I find particularly disturbing. He mentions the word murder 14 times, about twice a minute in this monologue, and really does look like he's kind of lost touch with reality, is seriously trying to justify in his head murdering, not just hurting, murdering somebody. So let's have a look.
My friends, how are you? Do you know what? My name is Alan. I am the Armchair Detective. I'm 68 years old and I wish I was 26. Inside my head, I'm about 35. In the mirror, I'm about 61.
Typical narcissist. I look better than my age.
I think I'm being fair, 61.
No, you're not. You're being a narcissist.
It's cold. There's no sun today. It's freezing.
Freezing?
I'll do a cup of tea. This is Peaky Blinders, right? One of my favourite shows. By order of the Peaky Blinders, you're going to be murdered. That's a Scottish way of saying murder. Murder. Scottish, right? Murder.
Can't
Say
roll
after
his
me.
R's.
Murder. That's Scottish.
It's not
for
funny.
Murder. Or in America, you say murder.
Don't tell them how they talk. They know how they talk.
Well, we're talking murder tonight.
Why are you wearing a hat?
What would it take you to want to murder someone? What would it take? You ever thought
Self-defense.
This facade of being human, like, I would never murder anyone, but I wonder if you would.
Why does Alan consider his humanity a facade? What's really lurking underneath that facade?
I wonder what it would take to make you crack.
Self-defense.
And someone severely hurt you enough to literally have so much red mist that you wouldn't care, you know.
You've given this some thought, haven't you?
It's human, isn't it? It's human.
No, it's not human. It's inhuman. It's demonic.
Our ancestors would think nothing of murdering somebody.
No.
No line. There was no lines. No lines in the Neanderthal days.
Okay, Alan's just making up history now.
We started to get lines a little while ago.
A little while? Didn't that sound weird? That sounded like someone out of touch with reality. He drifted off there for a second. We started to get lines a little while ago. Alan, come back. Come on.
Back in the Middle Ages, there was no lines.
Yes, there were.
You're a witch. Let's see if you can breathe underwater. No lines.
That's not funny. Why are you chuckling?
No. If you cross the line, there's no recompense. There's no
recompense. I'll deal with that one later.
You, there's no
justice.
Just thinking about that.
Is he disassociating?
Because I've got a line, and I wonder how many times I've lost my temper so much. I wonder.
This is threatening, Scott.
I mean, like the doctor told me once that everyone's capable of murder, and I sort of didn't believe him. I do now. If someone was to attack my family enough, I'd do anything to protect them. Anything. If I saw somebody who was saying things about my daughter and I saw him in the road, could I stop myself from being physically violent?
He's looking to justify murder. In his head, in most of our heads, someone would have to molest our children or kill our children before we got that angry. In his head, all you have to do is criticize his daughter or make his daughter cry, and he's considering murder. He's got a pretty low threshold for the old murdering people.
I wonder.
Are these threats meant?
It's good you live in. I live in this city and not another
pauses-
city.
pauses
Because that's the way I'm
meant-
feeling right now, that I really want to
Scott.
let some aggression out on someone.
Yeah, it's Scott.
Because I've had a word with my daughter today and she was crying.
Oh, you said she was crying yesterday. Has she been crying for the last 24 hours?
And I drove away from there thinking, where should I drive? Should I drive up
Pen.
country?
The pen.
I guess the good thing is I'm too old. So I went to the doctors instead about my knee, and she said, Alan,
I'm going to make a prediction. His knee has healed better than any knee in the history of knee amputation. Let's see.
you're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Better than
Which is
anybody
good,
else.
isn't it? For the 7 weeks you've done, you can bend your knee 110, whatever that means.
110 times.
I don't know. Do people that know about technical things? Anyway, I've got up to
Counting.
110 bends, and she said, "That's fantastic, Anna. You've worked your heart out."
Oh.
And I said,
Fantastic.
"Well, only because of my daughters have pushed me. My
Good.
daughters used to come down here for this past 5 weeks and literally make me do the 20 exercises."
Yeah. So after you had the knee operation and you made that video where you got the text message and you went, oh, goody, I've got a good friend coming down to help me with my knee. I knew automatically who it was. It was one of his daughters. So, yeah, that just confirms it. Okay. Alan has no friends.
And taking turns doing it. If they couldn't make it, they'd do it on Zoom because they know I'm weak-willed.
Yes, I think we all know that. The whole poker community knows that, and your two ex-wives probably know that too.
And I would have gone, I am doing the exercises.
It's not funny.
So I owe them a lot. And if they're watching, I thank them for getting my knee to 110. That without them, my knee would have been 60. Okay.
Just to pick a number out of thin air. 60, 40, I don't know. Let's pick a number. It's got to be below 110, of course.
And they do anything for me, and I do anything for them. And when I hear them being insulted, I'm a father, and a grandfather.
So this is not a good time to drop into the conversation that I've seen photos of your youngest daughter and she dresses like an absolute slut. I'll be in Spain in January if you want to look me up, Alan, and murder me. Okay? But she does. She dresses like a...
I don't think it's funny. I honestly don't think it's funny.
Your jokes aren't funny.
Oh.
Neither was Burn, Baby Burn.
Tonight's show,
That wasn't
the
funny.
Idaho 4 murders update. Now, I see that quite a few watched it 2 nights ago. And we're going to take it up from that first show. The first show was like giving you a broad sweep.
Overview
What's
is the
going
word
on?
you're looking for.
But I'm going to take you to the early hours of November the 13th, 2022,
Okay.
when these 4 youngsters were brutally slain in their beds.
Could I just point out at this stage that Alan is once again going to solve an already solved crime. He picks crimes that are already solved. But of course, we all know how it's going to go. It's all going to end up being a conspiracy with mainstream media and God knows who involved.
A few minutes from the main campus. And it had
Yeah,
such an
it's-
effect on the campus.
He's doing the sneaky side
Yeah.
eyes.
People
he
were
can read
taking
the
their
script.
kids out for Christmas early. And can you imagine? That's what I was thinking about earlier, about murder and that.
Thanksgiving. They went home early for Thanksgiving. This is not a good start, Alan, okay? You've just started the case. You're clearly jumping in and out of reality and thinking about murdering someone and incredibly preoccupied. And you're starting off in your case by getting the facts wrong. This can only improve, can't it? It can't get any worse. Or can it?
Thinking, what are the effects of murder? What were the effects of murder on this little town of Moscow? I
Moscow.
wonder. And it's only people that have children that can understand the effects of murder.
No, I think childless people can
It's all very
imagine.
well saying, I never want any kids, or I don't have kids, or I haven't got kids.
Oh, no, we're
I know
singling
this
Scott
works.
out now.
When you have,
Or Val, maybe.
especially around the same age, if you happen to have some teenagers, the empathy is so deep with the parents, right?
Captain Empathy.
And the parents of these four, I can't imagine that Christmas. And I can't imagine.
No, you can't, because you have no empathy, Alan. It's not in your genes, your genetic makeup. Okay, you can't do empathy. You can fake it. You can try and imagine what it's like, but you can't do empathy.
Every Christmas they're going to get for the rest of their lives. What they've got to go through every year. So let's have a look at the early David. For those that didn't see it, we're in empathy with the parents, but we
We're
also
empathy with the
want
parents.
to know what happened. And
I
I'll
mean,
tell
you're
you what,
empathising with the parents.
we don't know what happened.
We
There's a whole
do.
cloud of controversy.
No,
I mean,
we
if
know.
I told you now that there's more channels doubting that Koberger acted alone than there is saying he did act alone.
Have you counted? No, you just make these things up. We know that, Alan. So what he goes on to do now is play a 30-minute slideshow, which is made up of stock images and copyright-free music. It's been made by one of his moderators. That takes up 30 minutes. He comes back and does another 10-minute talk where he gets things wrong. He can't pronounce words like Hyundai and prowess. Doesn't talk about any of the facts of the case, just bumbles on for about 10 minutes and then plays another 40-minute video and then goes, oh, well, I'm tired, time to go to bed. That's it, pretty much in a nutshell. All right. That monologue is, you've got to agree, that's disturbing. I mean, he's threatening someone. He's very vague, like he's dropping in and out of reality there. And he's trying to justify murder because somebody made his daughter cry. So I'm just going to leave that with you. Feel free to go and watch his video if you want to. If you want to go and give him a view, really not worth it. But yeah, I'll continue to provide summaries of Alan's videos as they come along and point out any sections like this that are really disturbing. Scott, I'd be locking my doors at night if I were you and keeping your pets in, but you're already onto that. So, yeah, more of Alan's wackiness. Stay grumpy.